NewsNation's Khalil joining us from Capitol Hill. You just spoke with Congressman Thomas Massie as well on what will happen today. What did he share with you?
Yeah, literally moments ago, I saw him just walk away down the elevator. He says he, number one, is grateful for the survivors and for all of the work that they did, along with he and Ro Khanna and Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, to get to where we are now. I asked him what he thinks happens from here. He says he expects that the Senate is going to take this up and pass it. And he also believes that if they do that and it lands on President Trump's desk, that the president will sign it. He thinks there is simply going to be too much political pressure for those things not to happen. That was not the case just a couple of days ago, when it seemed pretty clear the Senate had no intention of doing anything with this bill. So obviously a lot has changed here. But Massie also said this. He said President Trump, despite his opposition at the beginning of this process, could, and these are Massie's words here, could be the hero of this situation and just release the files now, not wait for the Senate, not wait for the House to pass anything. He says the president could just decide on his own. And further than that, he said it's more than just releasing the files. Massie says he wants to see names. Massie has already himself actually released one name of an offender at a hearing a couple of months ago. I remember him doing that, but he said that's the only name of an offender associated with Epstein that he knows. He wants the White House to become a partner, and he says if there are people who have committed crimes and there's evidence of that, they should release names. So we'll see what happens on that front. We just heard from several of these survivors, Marnie, these victims who have been very emotional but really powerful testimony today outside the House. I want to play one for you. This is Haley Robson, one survivor who has been very out front since the beginning of this fight, and she had very strong words for anybody who opposes the effort to disclose these offenders and to oppose their bill in this effort. This is what she said.
And I'm hoping that President Trump will keep his word, but because of all the flip-flop, it's very hard to understand where he's coming from. I'm very skeptical. Every Republican needs to stand up against the tyranny that goes on in the White House. We need to stop the political violence, and we need to let people think for themselves. We need to let them make their own opinions and their own conclusions, and we need to have that support. And anybody who goes against this bill to be passed, and anybody that uses the tactics of intimidation or coercive control to sway an opinion, tells me they are not on the right side of things. You are no better than Jeffrey Epstein.
And Marnie, you know, oftentimes you hear lawmakers talk about how people who have been active in certain causes, that change can't happen without them. In this case, it is literally true. I just want to emphasize that this bill did not have a lot of momentum. There were a lot of hurdles put up against it. The fact that they're here today and that they're expecting a near unanimous yes vote on this really is remarkable. So just a couple of quick process things here. The House is going to need 290 votes minimum to get this bill passed. We imagine they are going to get well beyond that. The reason they need 290 votes rather than just a majority is because they're skipping a couple of steps in the process. They're sort of putting this bill on the floor for a vote quicker than what would normally happen. And in order for them to do that, they need not just a majority, but 2/3 of the House. So it requires that higher threshold. But again, after President Trump shifted his now support for the bill, shifted his position, he sort of gave the green light for all Republicans, those who might have voted against it, to vote for it. So we now think this is well on its way to pass. Whenever that happens, sometime later this afternoon or in the evening, we will see that happen.